How's it, guys, and welcome to my channel. I humbly apologize for not uploading for the last couple of weeks. I had a few things go against how I planned it. Firstly, my device decided to stop YouTube altogether, and I had my hubby check, but my channel is still there. So I had to get a different device and reinstall YouTube and do all of that. So that took some time, and I wasn't able to take part in BM Furbal's South Pole project because I was unable to get a compass in my hand, and that was very disappointing. And I'm also fighting a personal battle. I don't like confrontation, but there are people who think that they can control my life although they don't know me. So it's a battle I have to take on. And these are the things that have punched a hole in my schedule. Sorry about that. Now that I've finished complaining about my life and how things are not going my way, let's get on to this video. This video is going to be a mishmash. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this and a little bit about that, but the context of the video is going to be that what confuses me about what confuses flat earthers. Right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is flat earthers using man-made objects to try and disprove the natural. Right? And one of the main topics of flat earthers is air pressure in a container, or the second law of thermodynamics. Right? So they want to know, where is the barrier between our atmosphere and space? And what they don't realize is that we made the container. We then took the air out of the atmosphere and crammed it into a container. And then we even made a gauge so we can check what the pressure of that air is. Okay, so you cannot use a man-made object to try and disprove the natural. So there is a pressure gradient, and it's most harsh at the bottom of the ocean, right? And then at the surface, it is a pressure that we can handle, animals, plants, humans. And then as we go up in altitude, you will ask mountain climbers, they struggle to breathe, and that's why they need those oxygen tanks on the top of Everest and such. So the point where our atmosphere ends and space begins is known as the Kármán line. But technically, our atmosphere extends to way past the moon. And just for reference, the Kármán line is about 100 kilometers from the surface of the earth, from sea level, right? All around the earth. And the ISS is 400 kilometers in altitude. And our moon is 384,000 kilometers. It varies because it's not a straight out circle orbit, but the extent of our geocorona is more than 600,000 kilometers. And this is an amazing discovery, because as we are searching, we are always on the lookout for Earth-like planets out there. We know that if such a planet has such a geocorona, then the possibility of that planet having water is increased. We can hypothesize with more intensity that planet might have water, you see. So there is no physical barrier between us and space. It's just a pressure gradient that gets less and less and less and less and less until it's almost nothing. And scientists have shown that it is almost nothing, but it's not nothing. All these things we are learning in stages. The Earth obviously developed its magnetic field in the beginning of its formation. And the Earth, being in constant motion, obviously influences this magnetic field. Our Earth even records the changes in its magnetic field. How? I hear flat earthers screaming angrily. Well, when volcanoes expels magma, the iron in the lava aligns itself with the magnetic field of the Earth. And that's how scientists are able to measure the Earth's past magnetic field. And that's how they are able to know that the Earth's magnetic field has flipped time and time and time again by studying the rocks that was once flowing lava. Never mind any other object in our solar system, including the sun. Our Earth is an amazing planet. I thought I knew the bare basics about our Earth, and that was enough for me, But then I discovered flat earthers, and all the general information wasn't enough. I started learning things in depth detail, and the more I learn and reiterate everything I know, and then I learn more, the more I realize how wrong flat earthers are. And I also realize it's nothing complicated. It's just that they cannot grasp the fundamental basics of physics. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. They just cannot get it. They don't understand. And the classic example is gravity. What do you mean? My head in the southern hemisphere and your head in the northern hemisphere are both facing away from the ground, and we are both looking at the sky? They don't get it. We show them the meme even, and they still don't get it. They have to remove that upside down mentality that they have. Sure, you can use the upside down, but you gotta make our feet face each other in order to show that upside down. And when you see it that way, you will know that both our heads are facing the sky. Mind you, your head is facing a different part of the sky than my head. The sky is enormous. We see even further than our galaxy when we look at the night sky. So the sky is enormous, and yes, you are looking at a different part of the sky than me. I don't know, and I don't think I want to know, how flat earthers explain the equinox, the sun shining on the equator every 6 months like clockwork. And it just happened recently on the 23rd of September. And it does this year in and year out in my lifetime. So why should I not assume that it did that in the past and will continue for the lifetime of the earth? That's what the earth does. And recently I learned a little bit more about the axial tilt of our earth. And now it is, I don't know how much it is, 23.4 degrees or something like that. I will make sure what that number is. But it varies. That tilt varies by like 2 degrees on either side. And that also contributes to other cycles of our earth that spans a lot more time than the 1 year it takes just to go around the sun one time. Our earth is an amazing planet. To assert and suggest that it's a stationary flat plane, when it isn't, it clearly isn't. Every indication shows that it is a spheroid, rotating on its own axis, orbiting a star on an orbital plane. So the earth is so amazing that it even gives us the answers to questions if we look deep enough. We can know how far back in time a volcano erupted. I think that's amazing. And for people to come here and deny that the earth is an object in motion, and not only one motion at one time, it's doing multiple things simultaneously. And I understand that it's difficult to understand. But saying that the truth is inside your mind is a lie. I mean, you can build your own imaginary world. But if it doesn't conform to reality, then you are wrong. And another thing that I found that flat earthers love to lie about, and also I don't even know where they get it from, but it is the 8 inches per mile squared. I have searched and searched, and I couldn't find anything associated with a calculation for 8 inches per mile squared. I heard a flat earther accuse Pythagoras that it's a Pythagorean theorem, but it isn't. And in order to calculate a parabola, you have to use a quadratic equation. And I've also found no association to surveyors using this calculation. So thanks to flat earthers, I am learning so much more than I ever thought was necessary. And my final point for this video will be, I know flat earthers that we ask you a lot of questions. Yeah, the sun, the moon, the stars, the firmament, the waters in the deep, and what. I have to add one more question to that list, unfortunately. How do flat earthers explain the ocean currents? or the ocean conveyor, which takes about 1,000 years for one cycle, and the Coriolis, which is calculated according to an inertial frame of reference. How do you explain these things? I am so curious to know, because we already have the answers for these things. And I found that when you explain one thing, then it raises questions that don't explain other things. So if you can help me out, I'd love it. I'd love to talk to a flat earther without any insults or, nonsense. Just tell me the truth. How do you come up with your explanations? Okay, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed my mishmash. I had many questions, and I'd appreciate your comments. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.